I lied about, I guess, pouring a little bit more. I don't know if I just unlocked my car with my butt, but this stuff is good. Welcome to Whiskey Wednesdays. Well, mess that up, doesn't matter. So I wanted to start a new section on my YouTube because I want people to get to know me a little bit more, but more importantly, I want people to get to know whiskey a little bit more. And by no means am I an expert in whiskey, but I have a passion for whiskey ever since I had my first stint in Ireland about 3 years ago. And ever since then, I've been collecting a lot of whiskey and I just love it so much. So I want to share that with you guys and maybe give you guys that experience. And for people that are new to whiskey, show you guys different types of whiskeys that you may like, and then just be a part of this really fun experience. It's great. I'm gonna drink whiskey every single week on Wednesdays. We're gonna open up a new bottle of whiskey. I'm gonna pour it, I'm gonna talk about it. I'm also gonna just talk about filmmaking and any questions that you guys have. So at the end of this, please comment your questions below. I don't even care if there's only one view on this video. As long as one person gets inspired by whiskey like I am and just loves it and learns to love it, then I'm stoked about this. So let's dive in. So the first thing that we're gonna do is open up the vault and see what whiskey we're working with today. And the whiskey is Weller's Special Reserve. And so I got this because I actually fell in love with Weller's 12 year. I was at this really fancy whiskey bar and the guy recommended for me to try the Weller's 12 year, and it was one of the best whiskeys I've ever had. Then I looked up the price and it's $400, and that is a little bit crazy for me to spend on a bottle of whiskey, but it has this beautiful cherry finish, and it was just something that like hit just right. And I was obsessed with it. I've had it a few other times when I've seen it at restaurants. It is a bit expensive, so I'm going with something by the same company, but this is about $70 to $80 if you get it on Flavier. That's where I buy most of my whiskeys just because I'm a member there. That's what helped actually open up my whole like collection of whiskeys. I have hundreds of whiskeys. It's a weird obsession of mine. I don't even drink that much, but I love whiskey so much. And so I'm curious what this is gonna be like. And yeah, this bottle is $80. My whole rule of thumb is you don't need to spend a lot on whiskey, but if you want something decent, you're gonna be looking around like $40 for good whiskey starting price. And when I say $40, like whiskeys I'm talking about are gonna be Woodford Reserve is a really solid whiskey, and also Mitcher's, either bourbon or rye, love both of them. Those are $40. Templeton Rye, I believe, is $40. There's a lot out there that are solid at $40. So let's crack this bad boy open right here. Weller's, and see how it tastes. Got my cup, super dirty. This isn't like my product videos because, you know, this is real life. And we just gotta love it. So first off, this has like a really nice red, but let's pour it. Let's see what we got going here. I'm sure I'm breaking like 40 freaking rules from whiskey enthusiasts. So if you are one, don't beat me over the head. Let's turn this way right here. So yeah, it has like a nice reddish brown color. It's a little bit darker. It's not gonna be like your Japanese whiskeys that are typically a little bit lighter. It's smokier, but this is, let me read it through. This is a wheated bourbon and it's Kentucky straight bourbon. So let's see how it tastes. I'm a little nervous. Smells sweet, so I'm liking that. I don't like them too sweet. I like a fine line between it. I'm not a crazy smoky person. One of my least favorite, and it's a shame because maybe I just can't appreciate it right. I've tried a few different things with it, is Lagavulin 16 year. It's a nice high expensive bottle of whiskey, and that's actually the one that Ron from Parks and Rec drinks, and I thought it'd be so cool. I'm like, that's one of the first bottles I bought. Oh my gosh. I can handle smoky, but it literally feels like you're drinking an ashtray. And I know there's a few different ways to kind of cut back on very intense ones. One thing is putting ice in there. If you're gonna use ice, make sure that you're using bigger ice so it doesn't melt too much. Another way to cut back on whiskey if you're starting out, you just put a little bit of drop of water in there, and that can help too. I like my whiskey straight. Sometimes I like it on ice. It doesn't matter. Just enjoy it how you want to. So let's try it. Apparently I'm hungry. I've been working all day, so. Ooh. It's good. It's good, but that's also coming from someone that loves a lot of whiskeys. First sip is always hard. It's smooth and sweet, and then it has a really fast kick up of like a kick in the face kind of with how strong the alcohol is, and then it kind of comes back down. Almost like the arc of a story. I know that sounds strange, but if you really like pay attention while you're sipping these whiskeys, it goes smooth, then it hits you, and then drops really fast. So it's not really my favorite, I would say, of anything, but we'll take another sip. All right, well, you know, the second sip is always smoother. So my taste buds have been a little burnt down, and I'm starting to like it a little bit more. God, I love whiskey though. Whew, yeah. Okay, so let's get into it. Has anybody seen the new Spider-Man trailer? It actually comes out a day before my birthday. So it comes out December 17th, and you can pre-order tickets this month. I don't know what this month is, on the 29th. This is weird. December, November, October. Yeah, wait, no, October, November. November 29th, you can pre-order tickets. I am not affiliated with Spider-Man whatsoever. I'm just so stoked. And I don't know, like, they're bringing back all the old characters from the other universes, and I think they've kind of got it from Spider-Man with Miles Morales, the cartoon version, where like they go to all the Spider-Mans connect into different, you know, universes. And I'm hoping Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are in it. I'm really hoping, and there's like theories out there because all the characters from theirs, like all the actors from theirs are in there. So like it'd be cool, but I was kind of hoping, because the way the trailer looks is that maybe they only come out at the end of the movie, like just to help them fight. And I was kind of hoping to have them throughout the whole movie and like see them interact. So if like it's just one giant fight at the end, still cool, but I feel like it would be a little bit of a letdown. I'm really hoping for something more where they're in there and they're interacting together and you get to see their personalities. Because I grew up with obviously Tobey Maguire as my Spider-Man. I'm pretty sure that's his name. I'm terrible with actors' names, but he was my Spider-Man growing up. And then Andrew Garfield, I think, is his name. Oh my gosh, I am all over the place with actors' names, but I think he was great. It's a shame, you know, it was a different style. But personally, I like Tom Holland the best. Is it Tom Holland? I don't know the actors, but the newest kid, the youngest one, I don't know, he just seems like a really cool guy, to be honest. He seems like a guy that's super friendly. He almost seems like he is the character that he plays in Spider-Man. Like just like this young, eager kid that's super stoked about anything in life. So he seems like he'd be a cool person to hang out with, but we'll see how the movie goes. Again, right now, if they're only there, all the other Spider-Mans from the older ones are only there at the end, it's kind of a bummer, because I feel like, you know, they're not allowing the characters to interact, which I think was the best part about Into the Spider-Verse, the cartoon version. I thought that was sweet. I loved him. I'm pretty sure John Mulaney was in that, and I loved him. John Mulaney's one of my favorite stand-up comedians. He's hilarious. Oh, okay. Now that's nice. And now that I've taken my third or fourth sip, we're losing count of them, but it doesn't matter. It's a lot smoother. There's none of that kick in the face anymore. And there's like, you can taste like this cherry wheat flavor. That's like another thing when you go tasting, because I think this was my third one that I tasted. And so I tasted the two other whiskeys beforehand. So your taste buds have already changed quite a bit at that point. So, but you know, honestly, it just gets better. And now like the aftertaste in my mouth almost tastes like when you have like a really fine vanilla ice cream. Sorry, there's people apparently drag racing outside. But like, you know when you have a really fine vanilla ice cream and you kind of taste that in the back of your throat afterwards? And I'm not talking about like the cheap one, but like a high-end vanilla bean ice cream. Getting kind of that flavor with it. It's so hard with whiskeys because, you know, I was thinking coming into this that I want to do like a rating, but I don't know if I really want to do a rating system for them. I mean, either like a thumbs up or a thumbs down maybe, because it's all perspective, honestly. When you're drinking something, it's really the company you're around, it's the moment that you're having, it's if, you know, you're in the right kind of mood. There's so many different factors in how you can enjoy something. I'm getting a call right now. Hold up, guys. Hey, beautiful.
Hi.
What's up?
I'm good. I'm driving to go get my second shot, and then I'm gonna go to Rayleigh's afterwards. You talk to your parents?
Yeah, they're coming, but I'm also filming my whiskey thing right now.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No, you're okay. Say hello to everybody.
Oh, hi everyone.
If you can hear it. All right. Well, I love you, baby.
Enjoy your whiskey.
Thank you. I am enjoying it. So, cheers.
Oh. Cheers.
Bye, baby. Yeah, and so, like I said, with whiskeys, it is hard to find the right thing right away. And I don't know if that's even what I was talking about. It doesn't matter, but it is hard to find the right whiskey right away. So you want to be aware, you know, of maybe not going, or not like the first whiskey you taste is not going to be the one that you're going to be sold on. I remember the first time I ever had whiskey, my dad gave me some. We were in Scotland and I had Scotch whiskey. Just for everybody to know, bourbon, Scotch, they're all whiskeys. They're just different names and they're made differently, but they're all technically under the whiskey family. Not to get into a whole thing, but Scotch is whiskey. I had it and it was the most disgusting thing. I was also, you know, to be fair, 6, whatever age you are in 3rd grade, and that was a shock to the system. And then when I was older, you know, obviously in college, having Jack Daniels. Nothing against Jack Daniels, but for me, the memory there is like college and partying, and it doesn't have the roundness and flavor. So if you've only had bad experiences with whiskey, or actually like any alcohol, I recommend for you to explore a little bit and try finer alcohols. And they don't have to be crazy expensive. Like I said, most baseline whiskeys that are good are at $40 starting. And then from there, like, I mean, you can pay money, but at a point, you know, it's really like the name or the uniqueness of it that you're paying for. And yes, they're really good, but I've had very expensive whiskeys that taste like, and I've had Woodford Reserve, and that's one of my go-tos that I'll always go to, which is only $40. And that is pretty good for a good time. So, by the way, I'm not sponsored by anything to do with whiskey or Flavier, even though I'd love to be. So, you know, keep that all in mind, guys. I don't know why I keep looking at both cameras like I've never done this before. Let me just make sure that camera's recording. We are golden. All right. So, back to it then. I'm enjoying this. This is, I'm not much, honestly, that of like a wild person. I don't go out that much. I work pretty much doing filmmaking all the time, and then I stay home with my fiance, hang out with her, and my fun pleasure is drinking whiskey and doing trivia. So whiskey and trivia. Not very good at the trivia part. We haven't won yet. All right, let's dive into questions that I put out there for you guys. To be fair, this is the first one and you guys didn't know what I was doing. I just said on my Instagram for you guys to ask me anything, and we're gonna just dive into, I'm gonna go to the first, well, we can't do all of them. A lot of these are gonna be filmmaking. I'm gonna not try to do only just filmmaking ones, and I'll find the ones that are not just filmmaking. So, first question is, how old am I? And I probably should sit up straight because I feel like I'm slouching. I thought I had scoliosis. Funny story. I thought I had scoliosis ever since I was young because a chiropractor told me I had scoliosis when I was like 9, and I lived by that. And I'm like, because my back curves a lot, like, but I hunch a lot. And it doesn't curve, I guess. I hunch. And so my whole life I had this whole thought. I'm like, oh, well, like I hunch because I have scoliosis. And then I went to a new chiropractor and got like x-rays as I got older, like maybe a few months ago, and then just had my whole life shattered and realized, he's like, yeah, you don't have scoliosis. I don't know who told you that. But I don't know, maybe we don't trust him. It's 1 for 1, so, but I don't know. I just try to stand up straight if I can. Okay, so first question by Benjamin Gugic, and I apologize if I pronounce anybody's names wrong. How old are you? Well, Benjamin, I am 29 years young and about to be 30. You guys should know this now, December 18th. And also another fun fact, my real last name is not Paul. That's my middle name. But I'm not going to tell anybody my last name. You guys can figure that out for yourself. It'll be a fun game. All right. Do you produce Nick Geilisser from Films, or Nick Geilisser Films? Do you produce commercials for only online marketing or also for TV? So primarily, most of my work goes to online marketing. Most companies are using that because they are creating them into Facebook ads, Instagram ads, YouTube ads, whatever, anything like that for their website, for Google ads. So most of it does go onto that. TV isn't the best platform anymore just to market on. So there is a lot of eyes on all these social media platform sites. And so a lot of companies are marketing to those. But then again, I do have some clients that actually run their ads on TV. Like one of the ones that I did with my good friend Joey Pomrus, and from Finland, we shot a commercial for Hyundai Finland, and that aired on TV and online. And then I've had a few other ones. I just did a whiskey commercial that aired on TV, but in that area. That's the thing with a lot of these, unless it's like a big international brand, they're not going to be on the TV. And then even if that, they're wanting to hit their demographic, and it's a lot easier to pinpoint specific demographics online than it is on TV. And I'm sure there's marketing people that are just yelling at me right now, like, you don't know anything, but that's like the basic understanding of what I understand on that part. So yeah, a little bit of both. How did you do that skateboard video using animation? I've never done a skateboard video using animation, so there's to that. Elior9513, I don't think. Oh, yeah, no, it wasn't animation. Sorry, can you please do an in-depth video about that? So, Elior, I do have a YouTube, which we're on right now, so I guess you're not gonna see this, so this question is probably useless. I mean, this answer is probably useless to you, but I do have YouTube where I break down all the tutorials of all the videos that I do. I don't only do product videos, but it seems like that's what people like to watch, and now my whiskey drinking. But yeah, I do break down how to do that video, and you can learn too. And it's this video right here, somewhere. Would you do some kind of video challenge between your subscribers to unite creatives? Adam Kobashev. So I honestly do not like doing video challenges. I do them in my product video course because I give away things to people in my product video course because they have spent the money to invest into learning more about product videos. I just don't do challenges that much, and not even between me and other people, because the thing is, and I know this is gonna sound hippy dippy or whatever, but honestly, you should be challenging yourself to become better. You should look at your work and realize where your flaws are at and learn how to become better. You don't really need a challenge against other people to do that. And you shouldn't need an incentive like money or something to become better as a filmmaker. If you love filmmaking, you're gonna put in the effort and you're gonna work hard and you're gonna do it. And so that's it. I never did challenges for any of my work to become what I am, whatever that is. But exactly why I just don't do them. And it's also a lot of work, and most of the thing, people just want prizes, so they're recycling old work, and it's more work on my end than the actual work that people are putting into it. Is there any chance to be featured on your social media platforms? That is a hard no. I don't do it because if I do it for one person, then you do it for everybody, and I do not want to open Pandora's box. So nope, it's never going to happen. I am sorry. Also, to be fair, I have featured people in the past a long time ago, and it just doesn't work like that. Even if they're a good friend of yours and you put it out there, unless the person's work is inspiring or like is at that level, it just never comes across. People don't want to follow somebody just because you're like, oh, go follow this person. Like, they have to have a reason behind it. And me just shouting out people doesn't get them followers. So what did your first product video look like? From Zachary 10 Goff. It looked like crap. And nobody will ever see it. I wish I still had the footage. Honestly, it was just a shamble of things. And I can't say it's technically my first product video. I've done, when I started getting really into product videos, I did a phase of where I was messing around with a lot. But yeah, it looked like crap, Zach. And that's the thing is, they will look like crap for a long time. You have to fail a lot, and you have to just keep trying and trying and trying until you get where you want to be. And even then, don't give up and don't settle, and keep going and try to keep going better and better. I'll just keep rambling. I honestly don't know half the time what I'm talking about. So our main camera battery is dying, and it takes too much time to switch. So we might be just going to wide camera in a second, but that's a-okay. Let's pour a little bit more of this golden juice, the nectar of the gods. Honestly, it's getting a lot better. Oops. That's not how you should pour, by the way, everybody. Not by the top of the bottle. But we're gonna put this back in here because I think we're done with that. But we're gonna keep sipping the whiskey. And then a rating, if I'm gonna do a rating out of 10, I think I'm gonna give this a 7.5. It's not bad at all. And it's not like something that I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna order it again, but it's definitely something that I'll drink because I enjoy it. So it's kind of one of those things that I'm gonna say is gonna sit on my shelf for quite a while, and I'll go back to it here and there. But it's not Harry Potter. You know, you're not gonna reread it a bunch of times. I was gonna make a bad joke. Nope, we're not gonna do that. All right, let's keep on going. What was the most famous YouTuber you've cooperated with? Honestly, I don't really cooperate with any or collab with any YouTubers. The only person that I ever do stuff with is my friend Joey, but that's just because we're friends, and he's pretty much at the same level as I am of fame, or more famous, I guess. I don't know. Who knows? I don't consider myself famous. I just was using the word. But how do you balance work, sleep, fitness, and family? Well, the way that you balance it is really up to you on where you want to see your success. So, for example, if you want to be the most fit that you can possibly be, you're going to obviously have to take percentages off of your work and family. And then vice versa, if you want to be the most successful in work, then you're going to have to, cut back on seeing your family and cut back on the gym, or how long you're going to go to the gym. I don't have like a perfect method. I don't think anybody does for any of this. So when I started first, really starting my business, I sacrificed a lot. Luckily, I lived at home, so I saw my family a lot. But I cut out most of my friends completely. Most of the people I knew from college completely. Not because I disliked anybody, but just for the reality that I couldn't do what I needed to do if I was hanging out with everybody on the weekends. And also, I couldn't do what I needed to do if I was going to the gym all the time. I mean, I would still take my consistency in the gym. It's always been important to me since I was in high school. I've been very consistent at working out unless I've been injured or I've been on a trip. And even then, I still try to work out. But I try to keep it as consistent as possible because that helps with endorphins and everything like that, and just keep my mind straight. So the gym, I try to at least spend an hour every single morning at. And then with work, I used to be super strict with it because I'm like, the only way to be successful is to just be crazy and kill yourself at it, like 10 hours, 11 hours, 12 hours, nonstop, because you have to work harder than everybody else. And it is true when you're on the come up phase. But as my career has blossomed more and more, I've kind of taken the time back because I've gotten burnt out so much from all the work, and it's made me dislike filmmaking a lot more. And I never want that to happen because filmmaking is one of my passions. So I've kind of cut back on that, and I am now trying to find that balance of where I make sure that I hang out with my family. My parents are getting older, and there's only so many times in your life that you're gonna actually get to hang out with your parents as much anymore. And I'm lucky that they're still both here. So I try to spend time with my family, and then I try to make sure that I'm staying healthy, and then the rest of it is work. But I won't prioritize work anymore. I will, if I have the opportunity where my parents or like reach out to me and they're like, hey, we would love to see you, then I will kind of take that time and be like, I should be really working right now. But it's just been so much healthier for me mentally, because I was going kind of crazy with how much I was pushing myself. I was pushing out content all the time, but not only for YouTube or Instagram that probably you guys see, but for clients. There's so many videos that are behind the scenes that none of you guys never see because I don't have time to make tutorials, and that's just the reality of it. You kind of have to find what balance works for you. Everybody's different, but you know, like if something starts stressing out and you're just not enjoying life, I mean, life is too short. Don't just throw it away all in work. I mean, work hard for your dreams, but at the same time, if it's making you miserable, then that's probably not the right thing, and you're just lying to yourself. So, all right, okay, we're skipping that one. Sorry. There's, sometimes people get a little aggressive with the comments. So, how many videos per week need to be able to leave on it? We need to be able to leave on it. How many videos per week need to be able to leave on it? The hell does that mean? Sorry, Ivan Gorbinko Life. I really don't know what that means. I might be stupid. I don't know. So, in reality, how much space do you need to start product videography? Whew. Okay, I am the worst with measurements. You can ask my fiance about this. I will buy things and I'm like, this seems like it's gonna be big, and then it comes like, and I think it's gonna be like this big. I'm like, oh yeah, like a foot, right? That's gonna be, I don't know. I can't, something in my head does not work like that. Then it comes and it's like this big, or the opposite. I have a sign over there, a neon sign. And I was like, oh yeah, 3 feet by 3 feet. That's not that big. It's like this big. The thing is huge. So size wise, I mean, I started in my kitchen / living room. Luckily, my kitchen and living room was open. You can really do it in anything. I've seen people create product videos in their dorms. I've seen people create product videos in their bedrooms. So it's really up to you. I mean, the only reason why I've gotten a bigger space is because I've gotten more work. It's a convenience, because when I started in my kitchen and my living room, me and my fiance sounds so weird. And I'm like, oh, me and my fiance, sounds stupid. I love her, but I just say it like the word, it sounds like you're bragging, you know? So we could never eat in our kitchen anytime I would film. And it's sometimes like the shoots would go like 3 days and we cook all the time. We're not people that eat out that often. And, it just wasn't realistic. And I'd be hauling gear up and down every morning. Like, and it was a lot of work, but in the grinding phase, you know, it makes sense. But now, like, that I have a bunch of clients and stuff like that, I wanted space and I wanted to be able to do things. And that when you want to do bigger and bigger things, like anything in filmmaking, people tell me all the time, they're like, well, you can only make nice videos because of the gear you have. And I hate that so much. And yes, I know that I have nice gear, and I'm not gonna pretend like gear doesn't matter. It does, but everybody starts with nothing unless you were super rich when you're born into it. I started with a GoPro, and that's all I filmed with. And then I saved up money and bought my first camera. And then from there, as I started getting jobs and more income came in, then you expand your gear. It's not like you start with all this gear and then all your videos are good. The experience comes as you get better, and as you get better, more jobs come, meaning that you get more gear. and then you collect more gear, and sometimes too much gear, because I definitely have too much, and it's not because I'm like, oh, like I need more gear to be better. It just, you know, because I love filmmaking as a passion, I'm like, oh, well, I want to try this, and I have the money to spend on it, so I will do that. And oh my gosh, I already, oh yeah, so it's the same thing with space. I didn't know where I was going with that. I really hope this is still recording. Next question. How did you get to work in cooperation with Marvel? Okay. I don't know how everybody says cooperation. And that's from Emmanuel Kolb. So, I was, because of my YouTube, most of my clients come from YouTube. I had gotten very lucky with product videos with that I built up a following around product videos. And so when I do these tutorials, a lot of companies see them because maybe they're trying to figure out how to do their own product videos and they realize that it's gonna be impossible, and then my videos pop up and I'm one of the first people that pops up for product videos, and I've been very lucky and fortunate with that. And with that, about 90% of my work comes from YouTube or Instagram or my following. And I know that can sound devastating to people, but that doesn't mean to give up, because I've taught in so many people in my product video course, and they have full clients. You don't need to have a following. That's just how mine happen. And even without that, before that, I built up a following, and that's just, you know, word of mouth, and also just putting stuff out there. You don't have to have a following to have clients, but nevertheless, Evo toothbrushes reached out to me because they saw my work, and they said that they're doing a project with Marvel with their new series with Iron Man, and that they're doing these high-end toothbrushes. And so Marvel was part of this project where they were overseeing all their approvals and anything like that. And obviously, because it's Iron Man, it's bugging here, sorry. And so that's kind of how I was a part of it. One thing I would say, and this is not bad mouthing, but as you work with bigger companies, there's a lot more of a logistics and approval process that you have to go to, which becomes a little bit more of a headache. So just something to keep in mind, because they have so many more rules and so many more people to go through. Just because you have a dream client doesn't mean it's gonna be the most amazing thing ever, because you're gonna have to go through a lot of processes of approval, and then it's gonna have to be seen by a group of people, and they're gonna be like, wait, nope, this needs to be this size, like blah, 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 this needs to be like that. And then you send it after that and you think it's all done, and then it gets sent to other people. Marvel was a blessing to work with, but mostly I worked with just Evo. It's just, you know, in collaboration with Marvel and Iron Man, but it was a pretty cool thing. It's a cool thing to say, you know. I'm stoked about that. One day I hope to make a film for Marvel, you know. So if you guys saw that toothbrush, I don't know, that's silly. All right, next thing, what do you want to achieve? That is a great question. In life, honestly, and this is gonna sound really hippie again, why do I keep saying that? I'm not a big fan of like the hippie stuff. My mom's very hippie. I just want to be happy, you know, and then I also want to change the world. It's a very small thing, but you know, I just love film. I fell in love with filmmaking, like I'm sure a lot of people did that watch this channel. I fell in love with filmmaking a really long time ago when I was little, and I'd go into the theaters and I would just be transported into a different world watching these films. And I would come out of the film almost depressed, you would say, like depressed. Has anybody ever watched My Dog Skip? My dad had to carry me out of that film because I was bawling my eyes out when I was little. On his shoulder, he had to carry me out because I just couldn't handle it anymore. And it wasn't because I hated the film or anything, but because I was so invested. And maybe it's just the way my brain works, and I don't know, I don't know how everybody thinks, but like when I'm in a film and going to the theaters was such an experience, and it was something that like I wanted to create that. And I was always a creative person. I was always doing art. I just didn't think films was possible because it was very complicated back when I was younger. And then as I got older, opportunities opened up, and I kept going away from it because people told me it wasn't possible. And then somehow I just kept getting drawn back to filmmaking, and eventually, long answer here, eventually I want to create feature films. And I'm not gonna wait for anybody. I'm gonna start creating myself, because the thing is, it's the same thing with product videos. Nobody knocked on my door and was like, hey, can you create product videos for us? I started creating because I wanted to, because I was interested in it. And this is all gonna come full circle as my master plan here. And I wanna create feature films that inspire people. I mean, I'm not gonna say they're positive messages. I have a pretty dark mind apparently when it comes to films. At least that's what my girlfriend, fiance says, sorry. And so we'll see how it goes. What do you desire for your content? Ooh, what do I desire for my content? I don't know, honestly. That's interesting. I mean, it's hard with product videos. I don't really know what I desire. I mean, personally, I guess what I desire is for them to feel like they are of the highest quality possible, like that it looks like something a big, expensive team does, but it's only done by me and my assistant. Because I don't know, I mean, maybe I'm limiting myself, but there's not like a huge amount of meaning in product videos, you know, like you're just selling a product a lot of the times, and you can create beautiful stories, I'm sure, but I haven't really had the opportunities or got to pitch anything in that kind of situation. It's kind of just more selling stuff. But yeah, I mean, I just guess the quality and creativity of it, like I hope that it's like at that level. Little fun fact, I never like any of my work, just because I'm a very hard critic on myself. So when people criticize my work, I'm like, trust me, I know. So what does success look like to you? These are all from the same dude, by the way. He's doing deep ones. I think I already kind of answered that. What do you desire from your channel? Honestly, what I desire from my channel is to be a little bit more diverse, to be honest. I mean, I know everybody knows me for product videos, but I do more than just product videos. I want to open it up with this Whiskey Wednesdays, and I have a few other ideas that I want to share with everybody that are going to be coming soon, because I do so much more than just product videos, and I hope you guys enjoy it and are along for the ride. Let me pause for a sec. Let's see if the thing is going. All right, we got both cameras back on, and I think my chair keeps sliding back. I lied about, I guess, pouring a little bit more. I don't know if I just unlocked my car with my butt, but this stuff is good. Whiskey Wednesdays. I'm actually filming this on a Wednesday too. I'm not like those podcasts that say, I'm just calling out Bill Burr, I guess, I don't know, that say Monday, but I mean, he already addresses that Monday, but it's actually on a Thursday. Let's see, what is the dream for your business? Richard D. Sellis, I think that's kind of like the same thing that you asked earlier. All right, Gavin Livermore. Would you partner with full-time filmmaker to add product section? Love your stuff. Here's the thing is, like, I've built up my product video course myself, and I think it'd be very unfair because there's a lot of people that are already in full-time filmmaker that are in my product video course, and if I created something and then be like, oh, well, you paid for it and now these people get it for free and you get it for free as well, but you paid for it earlier, I don't think it's very fair. But also, I mean, I love full-time filmmaker. I joined it when I was actually already pretty established in my career. I didn't have a following at that point, but I was traveling the world and filming a lot of stuff, and I already built my business. I joined it because I was like, well, I want to make sure. So for example, I was homeschooled when I was younger for like a good parts of my high school, and there was like gaps of things that I missed in math that I just don't understand to this day. And the same thing kind of goes with filmmaking. I kind of taught myself how to do filmmaking. And so I joined the course because I was like, well, I want to make sure that there's like basic things that I just didn't understand. So I joined it. And I watched quite a few of the lessons, a lot of the things that I understood, nothing against it. It's a really good course. But what thrived for me was the community, because I started posting things on there and people were blown away by my work. And that's kind of where it all kind of started for me. So like, to say that I'd be a part of full-time filmmaker doesn't really make any sense, just because, you know, like they're their own thing and I'm my own thing. You know, I love collaborating with them when they reach out to do it, obviously because it helps my channel as well. And they're all really cool guys, and they're all super talented, crazy talented. But you know, like it'd be like selling your business almost. I don't think, you know, I could do that. So yeah. J Sync Photo. Man, people's names are hard to pronounce. I haven't even taken another sip yet. Wait a sec. That stuff is good. If you had to start today, would you buy an A7 IV? I don't know. Wait, so VI would be 6. IV is 4, right? A7 4. So there you guys go. I mean, I know it's not math, but just to prove to you, an R6 and a basic lens of 50mm, or an A7 R3 R and decent lens. If I had to start today, I mean, I'm a little confused about that question. I guess what you're trying to say is like, would you invest, if you're starting today, would you invest in really expensive equipment? I mean, everybody is all in different financial situations. It really just depends on what financial situation you are at. I mean, my first camera that I bought was a Canon T6i because that's all I could afford. And then I eventually bought an A7S II quickly after that because the T6i was a little bit limited, but not that you can not get good quality out of lenses. It's almost like at a point if you spend a little bit more, I mean, lenses, cameras, it's almost at a point if you spend a little bit of money is like, you get a little bit more ease of use with the different tools that are available in it. For example, like the Canon EOS R5 comparatively to a cheaper camera is like, for things that would help me a lot is the autofocus and 120 frames and stuff like that. The autofocus on it's killer, and it allows me not to have to set up a focus pulling system each time because I can just rely on that, comparatively to their cheaper cameras that it's gonna have a little bit slower of a focus. But I mean, yeah, I mean, even the 1DX Mark III is more expensive, and then it doesn't have autofocus on their 4K 60, which is insane. I think they did that on purpose. Canon pisses me off sometimes, but also Adobe. So we're not going to get into all that, but let's go into some more questions. I mean, I guess that's kind of my answer there. I hope more load. The only problem is I don't really have service here. Oh, they all loaded. Why does purple for Loco taste better than green for Loco? Well, this is from Oscar Aquino and Aquino. Why did I say Aquino? I actually know who he is. The reason why purple for Loco tastes better, Oscar, is because it's grape, and candy grape always tastes better than green apple candy. That's just a fact. Everybody knows that. And I mean, I kind of believe somewhere in my head that, you know, they put a little bit more alcohol in the grape for Loco. Let's see, camera setups, confusing, special for beginners. That's not a question, man. There's just an exclamation mark there. Hi, please tell me about your first work, your experience, your mistakes. That's way too big of a thing to dive into. Let's see if we can find a few more here. How did I get so lucky to love you? Not a question, just your biggest fan. That is from my fiance. Where do you find creative inspiration for your product shoots? Honestly, this is gonna sound stupid, but honestly, from everything in life, you can inspire. I mean, I see other commercials and I'm like, wow, how do they do that? And then I try to do that myself on obviously a much cheaper budget. But honestly, anything that I think would be cool in my head that I can make up, and then I try to reverse engineer it. So if I want something to fly, I'm like, how can I make something fly in a video? And then I just reverse engineer. I'm like, well, if I use string and I pull it this way with the pulley, then it's moving across there. I can remove the string. And that's kind of how I come up with a lot of my ideas. How do you price your videos? So, man, people ask me this all the time. How do you price your videos? I price my videos dependent on how long I know it's going to take. I know because I've done so many product videos how long it's going to take me, so I charge per hour, and I charge what my worth is and also demand, and that's something that you have to figure out. But I also look into how much I spend a year and how much I want to save a year, and then that's what I charge. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but that's just a simple rounded out way. Everybody else always wants a number, and I can't give you that because it's different for everybody. It's different for the clients that you're working with. It's different for your skill set. It's different for so many different reasons, also, because I might have a higher demand. I might not have a higher demand. You might be charging more than me. I might be charging more than you. It doesn't, yeah. So you got to find it. I know it's very hard, but you'll find that. And a good way to test it is if you're getting a lot of clients, then up your prices. And if you start losing clients, you got to kind of calculate where you're like, well, can I afford to lose clients now that I'm charging more so I can be working less? Or do I want to be having more clients working more at less money? So you got to just kind of figure that out and play with it. There's no set price. What specs do you look at for when you're using a TV to film your background? I look for an OLED TV because those seem to be the best that I've discovered from using them as backgrounds. To be fair, it's one of the only ones I've used as backgrounds since I've gotten it, but I've seen other people use non-OLED TVs and they just don't look as good. You get true blacks, your refresh rate's really good, and so that is what I recommend. All right, when waking up in the morning, gotta thank God, I don't know, but today seems kind of odd. No barking from the dog, no smog, and mama cooking breakfast with is it full hog? I don't know, doesn't matter. When waking up in the morning, what is your routine throughout the day? I swear that he's writing the lyrics to that. So as of right now, I just had surgery, so I actually can't work out. But typically I would wake up in the morning, me and Kendall, I'm just gonna call her Kendall now to make this less weird. Kendall and we wake up and we do 15 minutes of meditation. And that's really important because I'm trying to not be as crazy. So, I heard that meditation helps balance your mind. So I've been trying to do that. My mind goes everywhere still, but you try to be present for those 15 minutes. Then right now we go on a walk and we do about 3 miles up hills, down hills and stuff like that. And we play this game called Cats and Squirrels, which is our favorite game because what we do is if you see a squirrel or a cat, first you get to call it and whoever gets the most points wins. It's just a fun game that we play. Kendall's really good at finding the cats. She sees them in windows and stuff like that. But I'm pretty good at the squirrels, so you just gotta listen for them. They chirp a lot. So we play that game and then typically I'd go to the gym after and I'd spend an hour. And then after that, I'm going into stretching because I'm very inflexible and I've injured myself a bunch of times in the gym and sports. And then from there, I go into answering emails, drinking my coffee, shower, and then work until about the whole day with maybe a walk in between if my brain feels really fried. Depending on if it's a shoot day. It's not, honestly, filmmaking is not as exciting as everybody thinks it is. Most of the time it is a lot of, just very slow process. It's the outcome that's exciting, that everybody gets excited about and that you get excited about too. So, I've had so many people come on to shoots. They're like, oh, I want to do what you do so badly. And I'm like, all right. And me and my assistant, Alex, we always laugh because everybody always has a surprise meeting that they never told us about, around, because I'd warn people, I'm like, it's not as exciting as you guys think. And they're like, no, it's gonna be so much fun. And so they'll come to one of our shoots and we always joke around about the surprise meeting that they have right around 12 o'clock. So midday, it's lunchtime. And people are like, oh, by the way, I have to go to this thing, just randomly. And it's not even that far in. And we're like, okay, well, and they're like, you guys are almost done, right? And we're like, no, we're gonna be here until 8 or 9 p.m. So we have another 8 hours, but you have to love filmmaking to do it. And that's just the reality of that. Bare essentials to start filming commercial videos like you. So I would say you need at least 2 to 3 lights. You need a camera, you need a tripod and a slider, and that's it. I mean, obviously a lens for your camera. Lens I'd recommend is a macro lens, like a 100 for Canon, 90 for Sony. That's mostly what everybody shoots on. One of those and you're pretty set. So how long were you working at this before you started to see growth success? I mean, success in my career, about 2 years. It took me a year to even make any money. 2 years before like I had a full client roster, and then about 5 years until I got a following. But I mean, I never intended to have a following in filmmaking. That just kind of happened on accident. So how do you start a video company from zero? You start with whatever you have and just start filming. You start filming, you start creating, you start failing, you start sucking, and then you try to go back. You learn on YouTube as much as you can for free, fail again, suck some more, keep practicing, keep creating new videos, fail again, suck some more, fail a lot, honestly. Just fail as many times as you can because you learn from that, learn from your failures, and then keep creating. And eventually your stuff's gonna start getting better and you start putting that stuff out there and then you keep creating. You don't just settle on that. I never settled when I started making films. I just would create them, put them out there, create them, put them out there. And I'm like, well, that, you know, nobody really cared, but keep putting it out there. And you start putting your stuff out there and people start noticing. And when they start noticing, there's always somebody that somebody knows that needs a video. And because you put all of your stuff out there so many times, who are they gonna recommend? You. And that's your first client. And if you do a good job, then you have that client for life. And then from there, they recommend you to other clients or somebody else recommends you. You just keep putting that stuff out there and eventually you grow a clientele. It's not an easy process at all. If it was easy, a lot more people would be doing it. But that's just the reality of it. Whiskey break. Do I have a chance in the US as a product commercial videographer as a foreigner? 100%. I get asked this question all the time. I know so many CGI artists that get outsourced to India because there's people out there that are so much better at it. And also, technically they do it for cheaper, but that doesn't matter. That's not the point. That they're so much better at it because they spend the time doing it. If you can build a name for yourself, people will hire you. They don't give a crap where you're from. That's a beautiful part about our internet age that we're in, is like literally you can be anywhere, boom, just do it. You just have to start building a name and putting your stuff out there. It's the same thing I've been telling this guy at any level. I mean, I'm always putting my stuff out there. If you don't know, I'm always posting things on my Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook. It doesn't matter whether people like it or not. Again, like this, I just like whiskey and I want to share it with people. I'm a huge fan. I wish you all the best, mate. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Oh, I'm not gonna even try to pronounce your name. I'm sorry, man. Aberderhemen Ober. Dude, I'm terrible at reading. All right, would love to hear your recommendation for how to set up a small studio. Whew. I mean, same thing that I told the other guy about the gear. Start with that, and then from there, you know, just experiment and see what you need to change and stuff like that. Pumpkin spice or eggnog? And there's a lot of questions in here. I don't know if we're gonna read them all. Well, I don't like eggnog. I'm not a big fan of pumpkin spice, but Kendall's been getting these pumpkin spice lattes lately. They're pretty good. So, I mean, I guess I'll have to say that. So, wouldn't really need expensive equipment to start filmmaking? No. Oh my gosh. What makes you become a filmmaker? Hard work, failing, and again, just a passion for filmmaking. Why are you so awesome? What do you think the best way to reach out to brands for product videos? Email, direct message, but again, like, I mean, that's never guaranteed, but it can be. I have a friend that got signed, one of his first videos that he made for fun. He made a spec video and then he sent it to them and got hired for 10 videos for a pretty big company. So anything is possible, you know? I mean, if your work's good enough, it'll speak for itself and people will hire you. So that's it for the questions, though. I mean, sometimes they get a little bit repetitive. You know, I wish people would kind of just like watch the old ones or whatever, but I mean, I'm here to help as much as I can. I just feel bad, like, if I'm just repeating things and people have to hear things like 1,000 times. But, you know, hard work and you just have to have a passion for it. And if you have a passion for it, it will come easier than, you know, trying to force it on yourself. You have to really enjoy filmmaking. Again, it's not for everybody. It's not as glamorous as it is. And if it's something that you get into because you see, you know, the back end of it and you're like, wow, the experience looks amazing. Like, I love Star Wars. I want to be a part of that. I recommend go be an extra on one of those sets and see if you enjoy that, because good chances, if you don't really enjoy that much, you're probably not going to enjoy working on it. I mean, you get to be a little bit more creative. I'll be fair, I didn't really enjoy it. I got to be on Transformers, the Bumblebee movie. I was an extra in that. You can see my calf in one part, and I was actually wearing a mullet for it too. They told me I was going to have screen time if I wore this mullet because the director needed it. Never happened. It was a depressing time, but my calf was in it, and so, you know. But I met some cool people and had a fun time on it. But I mean, realistically, like, if you don't see yourself, and it's okay, like, you can enjoy movies and not be a part of making them. It's a whole different experience. Like, I'm not a patient person, and filmmaking takes a very patient, it's a very patient process. It's not fast. It's not glamorous or exciting when you're on the set. It's very slow and tedious. But for some reason, my patience, I grow patience at that point. And that's like because I do have a passion for it. I still can't explain it, but there's something that I love about filmmaking that, I mean, I don't even know. And maybe it is just all of this anger and self-destruction all the way up until the point that you finally make that piece of art. Maybe I love suffering until like the final thing comes out. And it's not for everybody, and you will find that out as you experiment with it. And if it isn't for you and you're not enjoying it, then maybe that isn't the right place for you. Because the thing is, people ask me all the time, how do you become successful in filmmaking? And if you're not willing to put in the work, then maybe it's not your passion. I don't know. I mean, it seems simple enough to me. I mean, I just didn't see any other option once I figured out that's what I wanted to do. I couldn't see myself doing anything else. So I sacrificed everything to make it happen, kind of thing. I have a long way to go. I don't think I'm the best filmmaker in the world. And I'm finding it very weird that I can talk to myself for a really long time. Kendall says I can't shut up. And now I'm kind of agreeing. But yeah, I mean, that's just the reality is, like, I mean, you gotta love it. I'm probably pretty repetitive. But yeah, gotta love it. Again, you guys, Weller Special Reserve, pretty good. I said 7.5 out of 10. I'm gonna stick with that. If you guys want to drink with me, just let me know, and I can tell you guys what the next whiskey is going to be each Wednesday. I would love to hear comments. If like you have any questions, I'll read them out next time instead of getting them off Instagram. Now that people know what this is will probably air next Wednesday, or it's gonna definitely air on Wednesdays. Then what else was I gonna say? It's not really an affiliate link because, again, Flavier didn't reach out to me. But so what Flavier is you pay a yearly price and you get 4 shipments of whiskey where you get a bottle and you get a 3 tasting sample. And I mean, it can be more than whiskey, it can be tequila, all this stuff. And so they gave me a code that if I refer people, they get a discount, but I also get a discount. So we both get like $50. So I'll put that in the description as well. If anybody's interested, you don't have to be. I'm not like really trying to sell it, you know, like I love whiskey, but I just figuring if people want to get into it. Next week, what I'll do is I'll do a whiskey that I think is a really good starting whiskey for people. It's something that would be super smooth and light that I can recommend. I don't know what the price is off the top of my head, so I apologize. It might be a little bit more expensive than $40, but like I've tasted it, I'm like, oh, this would be great. Anybody could enjoy this. Like even somebody that hates whiskey would like this because it's a little bit sweeter. It's not something that I would sip on forever. Like you need something a little bit more defined to sip on forever. But yeah, I mean, I love it. This is honestly pretty good. This makes me happy. So to all you guys, cheers. I hope you guys are enjoying your whiskey as you're watching this, because I think that's the only way you can. And until next time.